Hello, I'm Fjallsback and welcome to Tyranny. Last episode we got rudely interrupted by a knock on the door. Actually, it was the postman delivering a package to me from Fantasy Flight Games, so I'm fine with that. Right, anyway, what were we doing here? We were talking to somebody maybe? Going to see some Archon.
I got it.
Something like that. Archons await us inside, okay. So, here they are. Yesterday you cited me for wishing for to wait. Now you suggest an even longer wait. Perhaps the voices in your skull ought to come to consensus. So Fifth Eye, Graven Ash, and the other guy, and voices of the rat.
That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff to the ground to punctuate his words. A large and imposing man to begin with. His profile is made larger still by his hulking suit of armor that hums with mystic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secrets passes a scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. Emerald luminescence sweeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. The glow is most noticeable where his neck ought to be. This mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending naturally.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get going, you don't want to get between them.
Okay. I think I just remain silent and let them to talk for
I
now.
always know you've run out of things to say when you resort to mocking my vassals. If we are to speak of treachery, why is it that my scouts see the Scarlet Chorus warriors defecting back to the Vendrian Guard? Your fearsome reputation has gone flaccid, for it seems you cannot control your soldiers, or perhaps you simply choose not to.
Iron Marshal, my lords, the Fatebinder has arrived. This favored commander raises her voice, trying with little success to speak over the Archons. Perhaps we could table this discussion and let our guests speak.
Speaking of strategic failures, who was it that insisted the valley would need only a token garrison? For some strange reason, we can't seem to recall which balding halfwit grossly underestimated the enemy. Thoughts?
And I think I'll give him a bit more. Just remain silent and
I
wait.
thought you had left agents within these Tearsmen when they surrendered. Either you failed to see this coming, or you knew and let it happen. Incompetent or in cahoots, either way, this mess has your filthy stink all over it.
So, internal strife amongst the conquering army.
We look forward to seeing you explain to Tunon why the Archon of War could not close the vice on this trivial little insurgency. When we are crowned the ruler of the Tears, we shall have this place renamed to Ash's Folly in your honor.
I guess I will cough audibly.
If I could trust the information I get from you and your conscripted mouth breathers, perhaps I'd order my cohorts around a bit more aggressively. But last time I trusted your all-clear report, my troops failed to come home.
Oh, Ash, old boy. If you're going to have a little sob every time one of your nieces or nephews dies to the Tearsmen, perhaps we should have Siren sing you some calming lullabies to help you cope with your grief.
Siren is the Archon of Song and the youngest of the Archons. Okay. Okay, and Iron Marshal and Nurius, hold your tongue. I will not have you denigrate the honor of our fallen brethren. The commander's hands moves to the hilt of her blade, though the weapon stays sheathed. We'll be doing us all a favor if I cracked open the excuse of a head of yours. Fifth eye, they bicker like children, do they not? The fifth eye granting tenor pierces tension in the tent, and all eyes lands on the Crimson Spear. I mean only to say welcome to our guest, the Fatebinder. The armored retainer bows and rushes in elegance, then rises to salute, and not a moment too soon.
Did I give you permission to speak?
The Archon of War turns to you, his blue eyes with anger. Many of the portraits you've seen depict Graven Ash with a stern, unamusing countenance. He's even more tantric in the flesh. I haven't spoken at all. I just sort of coughed. Calculator silently.
How wonderful you could join us, Quakebringer, Executioner of Cairn. You grace us with your presence. He's hoping you have another edict for bringing childish Archons to heel.
So stuff changed here. He's Wrath 1, and you're also Wrath 1, so none of them like me.
My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your way through Edring. You honor the court with your selfless cooperation, for that is the sort of camaraderie that Kairos demands of us all.
The last word glances the voice of Nrath. To both of them. It's an honor to be here, I guess.
Likewise.
It would seem the honor is all yours.
I came bearing an edict of Kairos.
For the second time, Brother Tunon selects you for the glory of proclamation. You should be honored. Tell us, what has the Overlord decided to unleash upon the Oathbreakers?
The Overlord's loyal servants must hold Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords. All in the valley shall perish. Ascension Hall, that's the place, right? Yeah. Day of Swords, 26th of every month. It's a Kairos Day, it's day of the holiday, rest for all within the Overlord's Empire. Okay. Seems you need some encouragement to work together. Kairos Edict would end the lives of everyone in this valley. Honor of your incompetence. Now I'll just go factual and not declare anything else. So just number 1. The earth sways with each word you utter, air thickening and warmth as you pronounce. The tersely phrased commands is every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles of your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountains, feel renewed, the tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigor.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mitanni. We lose everything if we stand still, and we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time, so we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through.
So you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? The baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
Oh, he annoys me, the voices in the wrath. He just annoys me. Are you too daft? It's your indecision and bickering that necessitated this edict. Learn to work together or we're all doomed. Subterfuge 20. They call you the Archon of Secrets, but you certainly do not seem to know anything remotely useful. Let's go with that one.
I second the fate binder. Thought you had the memories of one of those oathbreakers rattling about that bronze gourd of yours. Would Kairos' mighty spy master please enlighten this gathering of allies with some scrap of strategic insight?
The Archon of Secrets turns his head to the side until the face of his mask is turned around at a new facet of the mask presents itself facing forward. Then next to the Archon speaks, the trembling voice of a younger man can be heard. Oh, you're several heads in one
Our river was to be the bulwark, but with the tidecasters slain, what hope remains? It's so cold in here. Help me. Please.
Our river was the bulwark. The use of the term our river suggests that this is the voice of the late Matani Janev, ranking member of the Venedian Guard. The wealthy house of Matani owned much to the realm of Apex before the coming of Kairos, and the major river in the valley bears the Matani name. Okay, so he has sort of memorized what the guy said.
Our sources tell us the Oathbreakers had some sort of magical trick in store. But this knowledge is tinged with fear, trepidation. If we make a move for the Matani, we suspect the Oathbreakers will mount a counterattack that is equal parts valiant and futile.
Conquest, I know that voice. That is the Matani Janev, so I'll go with that.
Good ear, young Fatebinder. When the Vendrian guards surrendered, Matani Yanev had the audacity to demand an audience. Being the gracious Archon we are, we obliged. What the good captain knew, we now know.
Okay. So if talking is work to be done, our lives hang in the balance because you do bicker like children. I trust you done acting the clown. I will have to take you home ready to march with all haste. I think that is favorable doing the marching.
You've delivered your edict. Do not pretend it gives you the right to give orders to an Archon.
My Lord Barrick and his band have been drilled in the Echo Call assault plan. The Crescent rumors should be briefing him as we speak regarding the latest enemy movements along the river. I will dispatch him at once. The Iron Marshal salutes, clapping her gauntlets to her breastplate. Fifth Eye, and I will ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavorable can take the river, the chorus has the manpower to secure the other ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunon's chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
Well, thank you, I guess.
I won't let you down, boss. He'll get through the campaign and win peace, as long as he doesn't do anything too stupid.
Okay, and then to the part.
Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Narot is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end.
Graven Ash is more of a soldier guy, and the other is the sly spy kind of guy, it looks like.
Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us.
They
You've
probably
shown
will.
your worth in war. And your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time, to help us wrap up this last objective. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I'm short of your scouts, short of your soldiers, short of your everything. I'm sure my brethren will be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. I guess we're helping. I'll be in the training ground ready my soldiers. Find me when you're ready. She pauses, clearing throat, and although I'm loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't secure the other valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in the Drast nest they call a camp, due east. Seek him out if you must. Alright. So here, Kyrus' Day of Swords. Now that you have delivered the word of the edict, the armies, the time for the remaining until Kyrus' Day of Swords appears next to the current date in the navigation bar. The term of Kyrus' edicts must be met by this date, or everyone else in the Vendarian's wall will die. So 8 days here. I see. 8 days to do stuff. And I guess we are heading out the door. Okay, so guess we're heading this way. What's this? At the distance you pick up a typical clamor of military something something. Marcus. I'm Lucia, this is Marcus. The disfavored soldier points to the armored man next to her, and you must be the Fatebinder. From under her helmet you hear an audible scoff. We've been assigned two babies. Assigned to your hospitality. Marcus quickly suggests, while you remain on this favored ground, if you need a place to rest, you can make it necessary to preparations. Is there any sport to be found in Apex? I don't know, let's go with number 3 here. If you're referring to the game, the chorus hunted many of the animals to obscurity on the first wave of conquest. Most of the meat we have to spare is salted and, perhaps more importantly, northern. Don't trust southerners to keep their livestock nourished. Alright. Few animals keep in pits and pen are for higher officers. I'm sure they're entitled to haunch of something or another. I'd love to watch you eat it just to remember the taste of fresh meat. Marcus, I don't know who you are. Not sure much to tell. I trained at Fort Resolution. It's my first campaign. I'm proud to be within the Legion. Soon engaged with judgment, but Graven Ash's protection mended me good. I owe him my life. Are you bragging about that you let your guard down and took a spear in the gut? You really shouldn't boast about a filthy tearsman besting you in battle. Just bitter, the lush ass never seems to notice you. Lucian, tell you about yourself. I do this. She enthusiastically lifts up her heavy shield, and I do this. She mockingly stabs at the air with her spear. Playing host is not my strong suit. Alright. Seem handy with a weapon. Aye, and if you ever want some pointers on how to use that weapon of yours, just let me know. She winks. And how are your skills fared, Marcus? Let's go through all this. Your battle is a reminder of Legion superiority. The Oathbreakers have plenty of heart, but nothing beats our northern values and Graven Ash's love. It's like serving with the disfavored. Despite the name, the Legion commands more honor than any military on the face of the Tyrantus. Unlike the Chorus, there's tradition, discipline, teamwork, and unity on purpose. Marcus looks out across the camp. There aren't many of us, but it's better that way. We are a tightly knit family, bound together in trust and glory. So they're more efficient fighters, but fewer numbers. And if Legion boasts so much honor, why are they disfavored? Some background story. I'm afraid it isn't for me to stay. Okay, I have insufficient reputation. Others around camp we might be able to tell. Okay. Okay, I can maybe do some training. Skill training. I can train something. I don't know. Parry. Oh, these are points it costs to train. Two-handed weapons. And you can train some parry maybe. Oh, this cost us money. I see. I see, okay. That's what that did. Or whatever money is called. Rings.
It's all in the reflexes.
Oh, that was actually a stealing thing? No. No need to do that right now. No need to do that right now. So who are we to speak to? And what does our journal say? Okay. There's a speak with the Fifth Eye at the Scarlet Course camp and speak with Iron Marshal Enurius. Okay. Severus, Faithbinder Conrad, right? I'm Severus, commander of third generation of this favorite, specifically Severus the Younger. Some folks can't keep track. The rank says commander, but lately I'm just organizing patrols and trying to stay out of the way. You should talk to the Iron Marshal, okay? I overheard you asking that the Earthshaker and the reinforcements. Afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshaker, is supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spell slingers to help break the stalemate. I don't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you were at all inclined to lend a hand, we would use some arcane support on our side. Sounds terrible, but other matters to consider first, I guess. Okay, and tell me about yourselves. Not much to tell. Father Severus the Elder. First of his name, Drill Master of the Iron Guard. Iron Guard. This favorite High Commander in the circle. Okay. Rest of you people will heard about storytellers. Okay. You should be proud of your pedigree. Bronze Guard. Well, to this day and age, it was a century ago, they didn't have Kyros's modern luxuries like iron, so back then, the Jet General's inner council was known as the Bronze Guard. You should be proud of your pedigree. Thanks, but try not to think about it too fondly. If anything, every time I screw something up, I wish I wasn't dragging my name through the mud. Okay, farewell. It's the Iron Marshal. Just don't cuddle the impact, push back with your shield, take the momentum. Okay, he pounds his fist in the air as she calls out to the warriors on the training field. This favor offers turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat. She clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops, and their skills will rust. Okay. I was mentioned you're short on warriors, need any help, what's the situation? I have brigands amassing along the Placid, Enthralled and Little Tooth crossing. The Venerian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but we are all to die to Curious' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me of the value of good help. This is the second major attack on the river. What happened the last time? Defeat in the details. We carved a bloody path up the river, but at that point everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup, it was just a few disfavored squads. Can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long pained sigh. We found bodies washing up the river for days. It is not often the Tearsmen put up such a good fight. It's certainly made us reevaluate the number. We need to take this valley. Really, you sure your discuss just give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just choose to disregard your warnings? Okay. I'm sure we can pass out blame after the war, only the Oathbreakers matter now. Quite right, getting our emotions into mix won't hasten this campaign. What's the value of taking the crossing? We can't just march from here to there in the citadel with the Venerian Guard manning the riverbanks. Fording troops and supplies through even the narrowest points of the river makes us vulnerable to attack, especially since our armor wasn't built for swimming. She points north towards the mountain spire looming on the horizon. If we can take the river, we have a clear march to the citadel and Ascension Hall. It will be ours in no time. Right, I will assist. Then our plan might just work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Turnon, the adjudicator, selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honor us all in the field. Antonio will be leading the charge, and Echo Call Crossing assisting you will be Barrick of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavy armored soldier, sentry in the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the fort-bound weren't sloshed on the dapple steed when they fitted his armor. He served the full force of the Edict of Storms, and his armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, this is quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice. Enya signals to the hulking presence. Barrick, come meet the Fatebinder. Barrick the soldier steps up to you to better reassembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone. Likewise, good Binder.
Okay.
Barrick, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Walking anchor. You two know each other? I don't believe you have been acquainted. I don't believe we've been acquainted
It's
with.
challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
Okay. The Faithbinder will be joining us for a push across the river. I figure an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the honorable binder than some chorus children.
They really don't like each other, right? Okay, cooperation done. Echo Call Crossing is now unlocked on the world map. Barrack, you have been with our cohorts since the Battle of Stalworth. It's time I gave you a task more worthy than hauling weapons and leading training drills. She plants her hands off her hips and speaks in crippled official terms. Ash assigned you to the Faithbinder service. You are to assume this task is an ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Okay, it's an order, Barrack. She shakes her hands and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. Hope you don't mind the company. Okay, I guess I'll go the polite way here. Excellent, and end conversation. We have a new party member. Right, and I actually think I will take a break here and carry on in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching.